Hey everyone, this is next day of a lot of good videos. Yeah, I mean really a lot of good videos. So definitely you're going to enjoy this. If you don't know already, Phoenix Nest, 3rd place in the world for teams. So first outing came out real strong. So you know, I gotta think of a motto for the team maybe the next few weeks, but definitely don't just dwell on that. There's a lot of awesome stuff in this video for you to learn. So I've had one of the best days in heroclix, one of the most stressful days in heroclix, one of the most depressing days of heroclix ever, all in one day. So you'll see ups and downs and all sorts of cool stuff. So all right, let's get on to it. All right, this episode of Origins Interviews is brought to you by Matt Miller and people like you, the gentleman that's allowed me to do video. So everybody give shout outs to Matt in the comments because he's allowed the show to up its game. So what do you think of Origins so far?
So far, I got my con exclusives and I got in line to do some battle royales. So that's all I've done. Just kind of got here with a couple hours of sleep. So we'll see what the day holds for me.
Yeah, I would definitely say you got to be glad you avoid that Felix Faust stuff.
Yes. I could only make it for the weekend. So, and I'm here with my brother-in-law and my good friend Jeremy.
Brother-in-law or friend?
They're being friend Jeremy and my brother-in-law Bill, and they're being very camera shy.
They're over there. That's fine.
Yeah.
So what con exclusive do you want to get today?
My big one was Ghost. It was either really Ghost Rider or Loki. Those are kind of two favorite characters. So. Okay,
Ghost Rider or Loki. All right. So if anything, let's just hope we don't hit in battle royales. if we do, thumbs up. We won't hit each other. We won't attack each other. Right. All right, super secret. All right. So anyone you want to shout out on the show or anything like that?
Just the good people back in Kenosha, Wisconsin that I play heroclix with. Rockhead's game store, and say thank you for your show because it's awesome. I love it.
All right, so I definitely, this is Matt Miller, so this is the best thing for me. So we're gonna have more to come. This is the final day of heroclix Worlds. I'm here late because I'm not in singles, but I am in teams. So you see the surge. There's no such thing. All right. Hey guys, I don't know how much you can hear me, but here is one of the final match games. I see Red Lantern Power Battery played by Alex Avila with probably I think that's Sloth and the Phantom Stranger. I don't know which one. And then versus the Orange Battery team. Also we see, I think, a Thule Society Priest down there. Let me try to zoom in a little bit. So you can sort of see that. I'm going to back away from the match a little bit before I get thrown away from the area. So just a little game on the side here, just so you can see that. Okay, so if anybody wants to know like WizKid's setup for the Dice Masters or how they're monitoring, pretty much they have a camera on the side that's pointed down, and then if you sort of see here correctly, they have a L bracket mounted camera which are screw-ins right there, and then it's facing directly down. It's probably approximately about 2.5, almost 3 feet from 2.5 to almost 3 feet from the table. So you're actually looking at your tripod sitting about, I'm about 6 foot, so it's about 5'9", 5'10". They have I know the light's not going to be great on the screen. They have a white light to expose the area that's coming from the opposite side, and they also have a second camera for your feed on the other end for whatever casting that they're going to have. So if you're at a rock and you want to emulate such setup, feel free. This is what WizKids is doing for their premiere stuff. A little bit of FYI, probably not too many people are going to cover that. Just something unique for y'all to have. All right, going to move on. So I got Howard Brock here. He's telling me an interesting ruling that occurred from watching a game. We're not going to say whose game because we're just not right now. But go ahead and tell us about the ruling that you overheard.
Well, it was a Felix Faust, New Mutant, and Orange Battery team facing a Scarlet Witch, Atomica, and a Banshee team. And entities all loaded up on all three of those figures. So you had the auto healing all the time going on. I believe entity was on. Anyway, long story short, team number 2, we'll call it, was the Banshee team. Team number 2 won Mapro, therefore was able to outwit, improve movement on the other team, and lock the other team, because of map choice, lock the other team down in the starting area on elevated terrain, was able to move across the board, and the team number 2 was never able to get to the team number 1. Got a few range shots, but really never able to get to it. Really basically end-capped that team and wore it out and finally won the game.
Yeah, so pretty much you were saying is the moment that they said you can use it, just being able to take that away, period, but you have to use.
On the Orange Battery, we've all been playing it a little bit wrong in the fact that we thought, like, for example, phasing, that if you had phasing on your dial, that you could therefore outwit it with your Orange Battery.
Or counter it. They can't use it.
They can't, but if any can use power, you have to use it prior to outwitting it.
Or to countering it with the battery.
Countering it with the battery. You have to use it. Now, if it's something that you just have, like if it grants you, this character has outwit, okay, you can then outwit with the Orange Battery. But if it says you can use outwit, until you use outwit, you therefore can't counter it with the Orange Battery.
Okay, so pretty much trying to clarify it a little bit. If you have to possess something to just flat counter it.
Exactly.
And if you don't, with the Orange Battery, so putting in that can't use lock. If it goes into like, oh, I can use blah blah blah, or I can use this or can use that, until you use it, then you don't have it to take it away. So that creates a whole different understanding of the Orange Battery. It sort of tones it down a little bit, but at the same time, it does sort of open some things up. Another ruling that happened with a teammate of mine, which might have actually affected the match that you're talking about, is that Thanosai moved up on my teammate, and we called the judge over. He played like one of the Green Lantern War of Light maps, and it was ruled that it was still first turn. He had first turn immunity to Thanosai's effects, so he could ignore the elevation. He could ignore elevation for movement, and then that changed the game. So I think what we have here is a lot of confusion, a lot of misunderstanding. Hopefully we can get some things simplified, and some of the rulings are like, what the heck. All right, so I'm going to have more on Championship Day here at Origins. All right. I got another great interview. This sort of develops the team understanding meta. I have a gentleman that helped me inspire my team design, and I'm not mean like team figures, but like actual team organization design. After we had an excellent talk last year at Gen Con. Give us your name and what team you're on.
Andre Robinson. I'm a Rubik convict on HC Realms and a member of Team Rubicon.
Okay, and you're sort of like the general manager, herding cats man on Team Rubicon.
Keep them all in the basket.
You got to see the hand gestures. It's just
keep them all in the basket, and then you release them at game time.
At game time. All right. Yeah. So I know I've been doing extreme face close-ups, but the light's weird here.
Right on.
Yeah. So Tell us what it's like being like a general manager of a team like as large as Rubicon with a lot of people that are well known.
Well, just to give you an idea, right now we've got one player in the Midwest. That's John Compton, Flash on. I think he's Flash on EC Realm, but his team tag's Flash. He comes from, I think, Nebraska. He didn't make it out this year. Paul Briggs and his son didn't make it out this year. Scott Lovelady, John Yoon didn't make it out this year. So a team that's usually 14 or 15 deep in these events, trying to coordinate everybody and make sure that their life is working out, that they can join us, is a struggle. So my job is just to make sure that we get the hotels as quick as possible so that we're not having to drive from the airport, for example. Make sure that all the money's right for everybody. Sometimes we have to shift money in the team from one side to the other. Airline tickets, hotel stays, different costs associated with traveling to 2 major conventions, sometimes 3 or 4 conventions a year to play heroclix. So you just make sure that everybody's, you do the roll call on teams. Does everybody have their constructs? We're not one of those teams that has to run around and find cards, find constructs, find, different things. We make sure we have each other's backs, and then I make sure that I have the team's back to make sure that everybody has what they need and what they're supposed to bring with them. All the people that can come, wherever they're at in their life, if they can make it or not, can attend, and money's not an issue.
Okay, so here's the thing I'm going to ask you.
Sure.
If you could speak to you yourself starting this and the whole team thing, what would you tell yourself about running a team and managing a team?
Make sure that everybody gets along. You're going to be playing clicks, play testing. You're going to be playing clicks for, from sun up to sundown on these conventions. So one, everybody's get along. If you have people that don't mesh in your team, I have not seen a successful team that doesn't get along. So don't put people on your team because they're good.
Okay.
Because you can make a decent player good and a good player great. It takes time, and you have to obviously have the passion. What I would say is try not to go too big, because like us right now, our team's divided. Almost half our players didn't show up for various reasons. And then a couple of them can't even play test with us anymore because they're so far away. We've got 2 players in North Carolina, 1 player in, I think, Nebraska, and we're based in Northern Virginia outside of DC.
Yeah.
So a good chunk of us, the core, we're missing 2 of the original members that moved so far away. We only see them at these events now.
Okay.
Try to have a centralized location for your clicks.
Yeah.
If we keep a majority of our clicks at Alex Avila's house just because we can go and get them, but we don't have to go to Scott's house and get these entities and then have Compton mail us those 2 entities and then get this resource from that house. We have them all in, I guess the Magic players call it a barn. So try to have a barn mentality. Don't worry about what's mine and that kind of stuff. Have your team cohesive enough where what's yours is mine and what's mine is yours.
Yeah.
Okay. Very important. And just make sure that everybody's in the right mindset. You don't want people that are in it just for the money. I've seen people that just go and they want the prize for the money, because that doesn't really grow the game. I think that you have to have a passion for the game. I think that your team should be ambassadors to the game. I've seen a couple teams that didn't look approachable to me. I like to think that we're very approachable, and most of the teams are. People come up and ask us all the time, why are you guys wearing the same shirt? What are you playing? And we've got a couple of people interested in the game by being ambassadors for the game. And that's at all levels. You don't have to be a great team, and you can be a not so great team, but just be ambassadors to the game.
Okay. So overall, the main reason, like I said, I want to interview him is because he's a great guy, but he has helped me really understand the fundamentals of team design. Like Phoenix Nest this year wouldn't have even existed if it wasn't for my conversation with him last year.
Yeah.
So definitely, if you see him around, you see anyone wearing a Rubicon shirt around at any major tournament, hit him up, talk to him. I couldn't get a hold of the professor. I saw the doctor.
Yeah.
And last year, if you heard me at Gen Con when I said about builders and pilots, that came from my conversation with the professor and blew my mind.
He's awesome, man.
Blew
He's
my
awesome.
mind about the potential that's there.
Zen guru. He is amazing and a great guy.
All right, do you have any shout outs?
Shout out to the guys that couldn't make it. Shout out to Jay Unit, John Yoon, Scott Lovelady. They've been the bridesmaids the last couple of events they've been at, playing really solid. The professor, Paul Briggs and his son, Matthew Briggs. They hold it down. Matthew was like 2-2 in his first Gen Con. Hold it down. John Compton, like I said, Flash, out in the Midwest. Basement flooded, couldn't make it, lost all his magic cards, lost his money. Come on out next time with us. And all my teammates that are here, everybody's playing great. We got a team and team still. I think we got 2 guys in the finals over here at singles. Shout out to everybody, all the teams, people of much success, Jake Williams, all those guys that keep it held down, and Ryan Morgan, great guy, and all of you out there, I love you all.
All right. So as you can tell, this is what I do at the big events at World Championships. I get you the interviews with the important people and people you didn't even know were important.
Right.
So we're going to move on to the next interview. All right, so I got the awesome Mr. Rolling Wellington of Team Vegas, and also, what's your awesome show?
Clicks TV podcast.
Clicks TV podcast. And I know that, but I want him to say it because it sounds better when he says it. Okay, and there's no in contact with Kyle here. Kyle is somewhere else.
Yes.
He's in my basement. That's an Eminem reference for people.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, but anyway, so how did you fare out today in singles?
Well, I went 1-1 in the Swiss rounds, 412 points. So I think I got like 10 seed or something like that. Kind of made it in. Was not worried about that. Top 16 faced Zombie Team Base, so I had a mirror match going. Faced Derek, I don't know his last name, who was the runner-up at Nationals, was running the same Zombie Team Base. Mirror match, going to come down to rolls. Pretty much, good strategy, no mistakes on either part, and just wasn't meant to be today for that guy, for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, just overall, what's your experience at Origins been like this year?
My experience has been great. This is my first Origins. I got in. Getting here was a hassle. If you guys follow me on Facebook or the podcast, you'll see all the reports. It was crazy. Once I got here, it was great. Really enjoyed, the WizKids part run of it. The only, constructive criticism would be it took a little bit too long to get the stuff going on Thursday. A little bit better yesterday for everything like that. Yeah. Because of that, on Thursday, I thought I'd have a couple hours afterwards to walk the dealer hall, whatever. Didn't happen. But other than that, good with the lines, good with, the people here, for any things that they recognize, the companies recognize as issues, Felix, Faust guys. Everything outside the convention, liked it. Walk the dealer hall, Magic Hall, I get to play some games the rest of the weekend, so it's been great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, just overall, what's your feel of the competitive level here? Because I end up overhearing slightly conversation you were having with Mr. Howard Brock.
Okay.
What's the difference between Rock and this, or even more so, like what's the field of a world championship type of, world championship level event?
Like the field of the players and everything?
Yeah, the field of players, just experience what you have to prepare for your mind and stuff like that.
In terms of the play, we'll talk about that first. We have just a stronger field overall. You're getting higher numbers. When we play on the West Coast, when you play on the East Coast, you're getting, we can have 10 world level players at a Rock out of 50, in California. They get 10 or so here on the East Coast. Here you put it together, you're getting 50 out of 150 world level players. So there's a lot more there. Because it's called Worlds for the company, because of the stakes are higher. As much as we love the Rock and we enjoy it, it is there's something here that just makes the players that just a little bit more, and you can feel it on the floor, you can feel it in the atmosphere, everything like that. That's the big difference. Maybe it's because people who don't go to Rocks come here, or because we have so many, or because it is the companies and the worlds or whatever. I'm going to be down in Atlanta for Rock for the money one. Maybe that's going to change it too, and the local one. So we'll see how it goes. In terms of the field, a lot of just game theory going on and trying to outthink the environment of what's going to happen. You know, Faust showed up for this one, so we were all scrambling Thursday and Friday night. What do we do? And we kind of, you know, who's going to play this? Who's going to run this? And we kind of figured, well, with everybody playing, you had your Faust teams, your anti-Faust teams, and then your third, neither of those, the other powerhouses, whether it's zombie team base or book team or whatever. And which three-prong are you going? Rock, paper, scissors. One beats the other, loses to the other, kind of a thing. And just getting all of these players together, talking about that throughout the course of the day or the weekend as it progressed was amazing. Made me change my Saturday team. I knew I had to. So, that was an awesome part of Different Worlds.
So, in particular, I know the think tank for everybody after Thursday went into overdrive. I know for Phoenix Nest, we sat down at awesome Greek restaurant. I wish I could remember its name, close to the convention center.
Gotcha.
And we were like, we all bought Faust. What can we do? What are our teams for tomorrow? And two of my team members went with Faust teams. I went with Brainiac Ship, went 3-1 yesterday.
Right.
What is it like making that shift on the fly at the venue? I mean, at the convention? Because I know if I was at home, I have my plethora of pieces.
Yeah.
You know, here it's just like I dropped $30 on a. Oh, I can't let it come out my mouth, but I gotta say it. I dropped $30 on that Trendy War Fast Forces just to get that one Atomica because it's the only one that's in. It's the only one that was in the whole entire
Whatever
convention.
dealer hall sold you that, fuck you, dude. Okay, you just scrounged one of my boys.
Yeah.
Jesus. Changing up on the fly.
Hold on, just real quick.
Yeah.
I can't edit audio on video right now, so sorry, kids in the hall.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, kids in the hall. Parents, sorry. Go ahead, go back.
My podcast is mature language, so I apologize.
I'm sort of E for everyone.
I apologize. I really didn't know, dude. Sorry. In terms of changing from Thursday to Friday and going through that, I brought multiple teams. My plan was to change up between qualifiers, see how they go, but I kind of had them set. With the new introduction of Faust and the change up of everything, how do you plan for it? It came down to two factors for most of us. One, those of us that traveled here and flew here, we couldn't bring a box full of pieces. The guys who drove here did. So did we want to spend $200 buying singles to try to put this team together that we had doubles of back home? Most of us said no. So the other one was some of the teams that we came up with, and I even came up with a team, well, this is sort of the anti-Faust. It was my voice told me, do you really want to try that at Worlds in the finals? Because it hadn't played it, hadn't tested it. Maybe you know some of the figures, but not the whole mechanics. And do you want to go run cold on a team? I chose no on both accounts. Some guys did, and it didn't work for them running cold. So I mean, that's one of the rough parts of not having your collection. You know, the thinking part of it's fine. The crunching part of it, if you could put something together, like, I know Orange Battery, I know these figures, I just kind of mishmash them good. But going cold on a new figure, like, hey, this would really work. Really hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I ran Brainiac Ship. I lost my first game. The guy scored 25 points from Odin from Team Ragnarok. Shout outs to him. But I misplayed because I know like Colossals had that ignore blocking, and it's like outdoor blocking, but it doesn't destroy it. And I'm just like, yeah, I just mashed through here. But it did help that Brainiac had phasing. But I was sort of playing it like, yeah, Kool-Aid Man, oh yeah. And that wasn't exactly right. So I sort of came back afterward, looked at the pack again, and I'm like, I didn't want to lose. I'm glad I lost because it would have been an illegal win looking back at it. But at the same time, it's like, what do you do when you only have one shot at this?
Yeah.
And, you know, so one thing I have noticed is the big tent pole is coming back, or the one centralized figure where it's team-based tent pole or something that's just like sucks up so many points.
Correct.
Why do you think that's coming back?
I think that was kind of a reaction to people who are going to go copycat to beat the Faust teams, and they build a copycat-proof team. So then they're like, well, I'll beat those, and then they're going to take their chances against Faust. I really do. I think looking at the Rock for the last 2 months they've been in Tactics, the template is 125, 150 point character entity, 75 point-ish character entity, 20 point-ish character, resource go.
Yeah.
That's what your template is, and I think this is just a little bit of a morph of that, where you're running your 150 point team base or 200 point team base in there, sacrificing the cheap guys, stuff like that. So it's just a little more for that template.
Yeah. Just one more thing on theory crafting, so I don't eat up all your time, because I'm already at 10 minutes, and I
Okay.
like getting another podcaster on here.
Gotcha.
So, from podcaster to podcaster, you starting off, you're a new player on the podcasting block. What would you say to yourself starting this? What would be your number one advice? You could go back in time and give a little whisper to yourself.
To me before episode 1.
Before episode 1 recording, what would you tell yourself? And it gets better is not an answer.
No, not that it gets better. Like to make it better, episode 1.
To make a better episode 1, or just in podcasting in general.
I would probably, and this is hard to do, I would tell my guys, let's do 3 practice shows. Because I know for when new announce crews come for sports guys, for those new sports fans, they'll do practice games and just to get a feel for it. What made us better is getting the feel for how we interact on the show, how we talk, to realize where we're wasting time to cut it down. Do the practice run first, and then do your first episode, and you'll be better off on the highway than you were.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, so I have Mr. Roland here again, Team Vegas, and y'all are in Team Worlds.
No, I'm the only one who can make it out. See, because Las Vegas is a little weird. 5 of my guys are school teachers. The school year ended yesterday, so they couldn't come. Most of the other guys work in the casino industry. June's convention season, they can't get time off. So, and Origins is a week vacation. This isn't a 3-day jump to California. So it's just hard for our guys to get out here.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, that's sadly no Team Vegas.
Yeah.
I don't know. Origins might impact that team. So just like I said, be on the lookout. More